good morning, or afternoon, or evening, or whatever it is where you are. Today I'm going to do the 2013 tag, which I borrowed from Stephanie Dreams, and I'll give her a little link below. She's kind of cool. I reckon you should go and follow her and check out her YouTube and stuff, because I like her. She has a dog called Severus, and that makes her pretty awesome in my books. For the first question, I need to give you 13 highlights from 2013. Now, this took a little while because, as it turns out, 2013, which should have been awesome because 13 is like my lucky number, actually it was kind of a boring year. Like, nothing really happened. Nothing fantastic happened. My 13 highlights from 2013. I'm going to start by saying that I was with Rich for 5 years this year. It was actually in April, so now we're not far off being 6 years, which is kind of crazy because I am a nightmare and I don't really know how he puts up with me, but he does. My second thing is going to be that I passed my NQT year. Now, in teaching, NQT means newly qualified teacher. So when you pass, when you get your first job, you have a year called induction, which is basically like a little trial period. And I passed. My number 3 thing is going to be meeting Leona. Now, we don't remember when we started talking to each other, but in February we were already saying we were best friends, so it must have been some time before that. So pretty much I think this friendship has like developed over the year. And then in May I got to meet her, and I've seen her 3 times in real life now, but if you follow either of us on Twitter, you will know that we never stop talking to each other. Ever. In block capitals. And I'm not going to make this all lovey-dovey because neither of us are very much like that, but Leona, you're awesome, and I'm very glad to have you in my life. My next one is kind of related, and that's meeting all the other bloggers. I've met so many this year. My next one was seeing the Rocky Horror Show with my grandma, which of course most people might think was a little bit awkward, but luckily for me and my grandma are really close, so it wasn't awkward. It was just amazing and absolutely hilarious. The best bit, it was wonderful, the best bit when we're going out, and I'm with my grandma. My grandma's a very small woman. She's always been very tiny, very petite. We went to the matinee, so there was a huge queue of people waiting for the evening performance. And of course, you know, being Rocky Horror Show, they're all dressed up to the nines. And there was this one man who was probably 6'4" before heels. Okay, and these heels were massive. So he was probably ended up about 6'9". Massive guy, 6'9", in full drag with a thong and everything, you know, buttocks out, everything. And he saw my grandma approach and he grabbed her by the hand and went, "Oh my darling, I really hope you loved it. How did you find it?" Like this. And she was over the moon. She was so happy that this man had singled her out, and they had this lovely little chat. And then on the way home, she told everybody. She told the train guard about how this wonderful man in full drag had accosted her and started talking to her. She was so happy, and I think it was just a really, really sweet moment because it made her day. My next thing is working with loads of brands this year. It's been absolutely fantastic. To be honest, when I started my blog, I didn't know that brands worked with people. I just kind of did it because I was really into Lookbook, and everyone on Lookbook had blogs, and I thought, yeah, I'm going to do this as well, why not? And I just did it, and then suddenly it was like, oh my god, like, brands want to get in touch with me, and they want to work with me. This is crazy. And I've been so lucky to work with some fantastic brands this year. I went to a benefit launch party, which was amazing because anyone who's been reading my blog for a while will know that I'm a massive benefit fangirl. I went to the clothes show earlier this month. I went indoor skydiving as part of the Be More Dog campaign with O2, which was fantastic. I went to a Rainbow Club event where I got to design some shoes. It's just been absolutely wonderful, and I just want to thank every single brand who has worked with me. And if you're watching this and you're from a brand, just thank you so much because I really appreciate it and it makes me happy. I've also done quite a bit of stuff with my best friend Marie, and I know I just said my best friend was Leona, and later on I'm going to tell you about another best friend. I've got like 4 best friends. So I've done loads of stuff with Marie. She's been my best friend since we were 14 or 15, I think. and we went to the local rock club on Halloween, which was amazing, and she came with me to my bloggers Halloween party as well, which was fantastic. We went to go and see Muppets Christmas Carol in London recently. We've just done loads of great things together and I like it. I passed my theory test, my driving theory test this year, and I also started learning to drive. I started learning in, I think it was February, it might have been earlier than that, and it turns out that I am the world's worst driver. I hate it. I stopped for a pigeon on a roundabout, and it turns out you're not allowed to do that, but you are allowed to stop for dogs, and I don't know where the line between pigeon and dog is. When is it okay to stop? Can you stop for a pheasant? Or an ostrich? Turns out I'm a terrible driver, and in the summer holidays I had to text my driving instructor and be like, yeah, I've kind of run out of money this month, so can we cancel next week's lesson and do it in September instead? And he was like, yeah, sure, no problem. And then I just never got round to doing the next lesson, and now it's December and I've still not booked that next lesson, and it's really frustrating because my driving instructor said I was about 8 weeks away from being ready to take my test, so I'm really close, and I just sort of panicked and stopped. But I'm going to do it next year, that's going to come later. But I passed my theory test, and that was a really good positive step, and I started driving, which was fantastic, and I just need to actually do it. I went to London in the summer holidays with my work best friend Adira, see, another best friend. I went to go and see Darren Brown, and it was really good. Me and Rich went to see Darren Brown a few years ago, and it was really good then. So I went with Adira, and I won't give anything away, obviously, but there's one point where he asks for, in the interval, he asks for people to come up on stage. So during the interval, you go and line up by the stage, and then the first 30 people get to go up, and we were really lucky enough to go up on stage and watch the second half of the show from the back of the stage, which was awesome, absolutely amazing. I loved it, and it was a lot of fun. I also went to Highgate Cemetery, which I know is a bit weird, but I've always been into graveyards, which I know that's odd, but when I was like 7 or 8, my grandma and granddad used to go to church and take me with them, and whilst they went and had their drinks and biscuits in the church hall afterwards, I just used to go and hang out in the graveyard. And Highgate Cemetery, if you don't know, is a huge Victorian cemetery. I've wanted to go since 2005 when I was doing my A-level art exams, and our art tutor told us about Highgate Cemetery, and I wanted to go then, and finally, after 8 years, I finally got to go, and it was everything I imagined, and I want to go again. I think I'm going to go again in January, because I went in summer when it was all leafy and green, and I'd love to go and see it when it's cold and all the trees are bare, and to see that contrast, I think it'll be beautiful. Another great thing that happened to me was that I was in the metro. I love the metro. I read it every day on my way to work. It was a feature with Specsavers about glasses, and I got to be part of this sort of style feature, kind of like street style thing. I'm also going to say one of my favourite things this year was trying Yo Sushi, and I've got Helen to thank for this, because Helen took me and Isla there when we were in Southampton, and I'd never been before, and I didn't really have any desire to go, and it turns out it's amazing, because A, it's delicious, the spicy pepper squid is the best thing in the world, and B, you've got so much control over how much you spend, because you just choose a little dish and all the dishes are price coded, and C, you get to take food off a conveyor belt. Who doesn't want to do that? I get really disappointed if I can't sit right next to the conveyor belt, so I can just take everything off. And some of them have a little happy cat, and it goes around going, like a cat thing, like a waving happy cat thing. I don't know what they're called, and it goes around going on the little conveyor belt, and it looks so happy, and that makes me happy. My final thing, my 13th thing, was getting my blog design. I got this done in May, and I asked Kayla B to do it, and I'll put her link below. It's beautiful. Still, it's been 7 months and I still can't get over how wonderful it is. Seriously, I cannot recommend her enough. So that's that question. That took forever. Goals for 2014. I need to finish my driving. I'm really hoping I'll get that done by the summer. Fingers crossed. Hopefully we're going to book our wedding as well. We were originally going to get married in 2013. We got engaged in 2009 and we were like, yeah, let's get married in 2013. That's miles away. 13's my lucky number. We'll do it, yeah. And yeah, turns out we weren't very good at saving. But the plan now is that hopefully in the next couple of months we're going to book our wedding. We're getting married in Florida. And my other best friend, my fourth best friend, is going to get ordained and she's going to do the wedding because that's legal in America, and I've emailed the clerk of courts in Florida to check and it's all good, it's all fine. But all we need to worry about is booking the holiday just like you would a normal holiday. I also want to meet loads more people. I want to develop my YouTube a bit more as well. I just really want to develop this side of my blog. I feel like my blog where it is now, of course I want to develop that further as well, and of course there's always room for development, but at the moment I'm very happy with how that is and how that's going, and it's kind of taking care of itself at the moment, and so I want to spend this time focusing on my YouTube, and then maybe I'll go back to the blog and back and forth like that or something. Now we have some just general questions. The third question is, what's the best item of clothing purchased in 2013? If I thought about this, I would have brought it down, but I didn't. But I really think it was my medium culture for Topshop dress. The purple one, I'll put a little picture here for you to see. Because I love the way it fits. I love the sleeves that make me feel like Lawrence Llewellyn Bowen. I love the print. I love the purple lace. I just love it. Even though it was one of the last things I bought in 2013, I definitely think it's the best. Oh, what's a new skill you want to learn for 2014? Like I already said, I want to finish driving. Hopefully I'll have that done by the summer. And filming as well. Number 5, photograph of the year. I haven't chosen one yet, so let's leave it as a surprise. Number 6, favourite song. I really stopped listening to music in 2006. Or listening to new music. So all the music I listen to these days is like 2004, 2005, 2006 emo. But I work in a school and I'm surrounded by little 7-year-olds who do listen to music. One was Taylor Swift. I don't know the name of the song for sure, but I'm going to assume it's Trouble, because we used to play that all the time and dance to it, and I kind of learned the lyrics to that after a while. And a final question is favourite TV programme of the year. I've had a little think about this, and I'm going to go for Educating Yorkshire, which I know I've talked about before on here. I think most people have seen the scene with the boy Musharraf, who has a stammer and finds it really difficult to speak. And then his teacher has watched the King's Speech and suggests that maybe listening to music whilst he reads out would help. And it is magical. Oh, it's beautiful, and he just reads it, and they get all the music going and the expression on the teacher's face when he's just like, whoa, what have I done? And it's so beautiful, and I've seen it so many times because Channel 4 are really milking that clip. I see it all the time and I cry every single time now, and even now, just thinking about it, I'm like, oh god, it's so beautiful. I cannot think of anything that has moved me as much as that on the TV this year, so that is my choice. That is my tag done. If you haven't already, feel free to subscribe. It would be lovely to get some more subscribers on here. Thanks for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye bye!